Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Welcome to Accelerated Health with Sara Banta. I'm a busy wife, mom of 3, and an NAMP certified supplement professional, but that's not all. I'm also the founder of the awarded Most Innovative Health Supplement Company 4 years in a row, Accelerated Health Products, which is a brand offering innovative, natural, Scalar enhanced supplements to optimize your health, unlike any other supplement brand out there. And this podcast is not just a source of information. We're a community. We're all here to learn and grow on our health journeys, regardless of where you are today. And this podcast is the springboard to learning. The free group coaching on Telegram is where we continue learning together. You can ask questions. I post tips and tools to deepen your health and keep you moving forward. So here's what you can expect. New episodes every Monday and Wednesday with in-depth health discussions and expert guests. Hot topics that are in the news every Friday to keep things fun. And then the free group coaching on Telegram to continue the conversation. The details are on my website, SaraBantaHealth.com. Have you thought about detoxing, but you're a little nervous about the detox flu symptoms, being hangry, being on a juice cleanse, not eating real food? Well, I've created over 10 unique, easy detox cleanse programs to help you reset your body while feeling great. You can start with the colon cleanse just to get pooping, the parasite cleanse, the candida cleanse, the kidney cleanse, and the liver flush cleanse, which I recommend a few times a year. And then, of course, the big one, the accelerated diet cleanse that resets your hormones, your weight loss, your gut, your brain, all the things all at once. And maybe you're not ready for the detox, but you just want to start with a few supplements, don't know where to start. Just complete the health goals form on my website, and I will personally put together a protocol just for you. Just by taking a few steps forward with your health, you will change your life. The difference is I'm here every step of the way. Today, we're talking about brain health. And I know that's triggering for all of you because anxiety and depression are through the roof. Mood disorders of all type, ADHD. You've got then Alzheimer's and dementia and Parkinson's to think about when we're later on in life. But right now, we're just trying to get rid of this brain fog, let alone think about what's coming down the road. And when you think about nutrients critical for brain health, copper might not be at the top of your list. We tend to hear about the omega-3s, magnesium, B vitamins, but copper, yes, the same element that's in pennies and wiring, plays a surprisingly crucial role in keeping our brains functioning at their best. It is so important for fat burning, for energy, getting over anemia. So why wouldn't it make a difference in the energy in your brain as well, right? So there is a double-edged sword to copper, just like there is to iron, and copper and iron play together. Copper and zinc play together. So we're going to talk about all of these. You don't want too much of any of them, but you don't want too little. So why does it matter for your brain? You need it for energy production. Copper is a cofactor for enzymes that help our cells produce those ATP that I always talk about. The ATP inside the cell is inside the mitochondria, which is inside the cell. That is your true cellular energy. Without ATP, without mitochondria, you die. Mitochondrial failure, you die, right? So we want to keep our mitochondria as healthy as possible. And you need copper to help your cells produce that ATP. And that's the molecule that fuels every activity in the body. Your brain is no different, and it demands a constant supply of energy. It relies heavily on this function. Copper is vital for creating neurotransmitters like dopamine, which affects your mood, motivation, motor control, all the things. Copper also helps enzymes like superoxide dismutase neutralize harmful molecules called reactive oxygen species, or ROS, and those can damage the brain cells. Copper also plays a role in forming myelin, the protective sheath around the nerve fibers that ensures smooth communication between the neurons. Okay, so that's very important as well. So copper is like that behind the scenes crew that keeps your brain system functioning perfectly, just like your body. But now we're going to get into the relationship of copper and iron. I always ran anemic, and so did my one daughter. I couldn't get her dressed in the morning. She'd fall down like a noodle, and it was so frustrating, but she had no energy. She was always lightheaded. And we always thought, okay, give her an iron supplement. Try this iron supplement. Well, that didn't work. Let's try this iron supplement. Nothing worked because the problem wasn't iron. Most people have plenty of iron in their body. It just is not in all the right places. And you need copper to open the door to let the iron that you already have to get to where it needs to go. Nowadays, because of the pandemic and the complications of what it's done to our liver, which is where ferritin and iron stores are held, most people are actually high in iron and ferritin. And we need that copper to get the iron to where it needs to go. So let's talk about copper and iron. Copper is highly reactive. While it's essential, its redox properties, the ability to gain and lose electrons, can make it dangerous. Just like I said, you don't want too much copper, iron, or zinc, but you need copper, iron, and zinc, right? So if copper levels get too high, it can lead to an overproduction of ROS, causing the oxidative stress and cellular damage. On the flip side, if copper levels are too low, critical enzymes can't function. That behind the scenes crew, remember? Then all the stuff on stage is not working. This leaves your brain vulnerable to dysfunction. And that delicate balance is what makes copper so fascinating. And this goes for iron too. Too little, too much, you want just the right amount. Research has linked high levels of iron in the brain to neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's or dementia, which is both alarming, of course, and eye-opening because you would never think, well, iron's good for us, right? Well, too much is not a good thing. Iron is powerful at oxidizing, and it literally is rusting your body from the inside out if you have too much. So when you have too much, it can harm the neurons, glial cells, and myelin, the structures that keep the brain working properly. And while the brain tries to store these excess iron safely in ferritin complexes, this storage system has its limits. It can't do more than it can do. So to perform its functions, iron must be released from these complexes, which can create risks if not controlled. So in a study over a 3-year period, the researchers found that older adults experienced significant iron accumulation in brain regions responsible for memory and problem solving. This buildup was strongly associated with decline in memory, our ability to recall past events, and executive function, which involves the attention and decision-making part of the brain. Copper is like the key that unlocks the door for iron to get to where it needs to go. So without enough copper, things can quickly get off track with too much iron. Iron can pile up in places that it shouldn't, potentially causing harm. And then while we need it, there are vital areas in the brains that are left without the iron that need to function. So it's in all the wrong places, but not in the right places. So now let's look at copper. Recent studies have shed light on copper's role in major neurodegenerative diseases. So this is interesting. Alzheimer's, one of the defining features is the buildup of amyloid beta plaques in the brain. We talk about amyloids, right, with the amyloid proteins in chicken and poultry and pork, how we don't want to eat those because those amyloids don't get broken down in our body and they can cause the buildup in the brain. Well, so this is part of Alzheimer's. Excess copper has been shown to bind with the amyloid betas, accelerating the aggression or aggregation into plaques. Elevated levels of unbound or free copper have been observed in these Alzheimer's patients, suggesting that copper imbalances could be a driving force behind the disease progression. So we just need the right amount. Okay, now let's look at Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's is the loss of dopamine-producing neurons in the substantia nigra, a key feature. So here's where copper plays a role. Low copper levels in this region have been linked to increased oxidative stress, which damages neurons. Copper's interaction with alpha I'm saying this wrong, synuclein is a protein that aggregates in Parkinson's, can either stabilize the protein or, when imbalanced, contribute to its toxic clumping. Do you see where this gets complicated? We don't want too much, we don't want too little. So there are a lot of things out there now. They're trying to restore the copper levels in the brain to help with managing Parkinson's progression. So the other thing is copper imbalances have been implicated in Huntington's disease, prion diseases, and even some forms of epilepsy. Each of these conditions highlights the importance of copper's role in maintaining the brain health and preventing damage. So what has caused copper depletion? Most people, as I'm talking about the fact that there's dangers in having too much of it, most of us have not enough. And we're having these high iron stores and ferritin levels that are calling on the need for more copper in the diet. So what has contributed to that copper depletion? Malabsorption. Everyone's got leaky gut. Gut issues like leaky gut, inflammation, dysbiosis impair the absorption of essential nutrients like copper. Even copper-rich diets may fail to provide the adequate levels in the digestive system. If the digestive system is not assimilating the copper nutrients coming in, doesn't do you any good. And the foods that have a lot of copper might have some other things that are inhibiting the absorption. Then you've got the processed foods. Processed foods are often stripped of natural copper and loaded with additives, preservatives, chemicals that interfere with all nutrient absorption, not just copper. And regular consumption of these foods disrupt the body's ability to maintain the copper levels. It actually steals copper out of the body, and you're eating so much of these processed foods. Just one meal of a processed food meal actually causes leaky gut. So then we're back to the fact of you're not even assimilating the nutrients you're taking in, right? So the long-term impact of processed foods can lead to copper depletion. Now, 70% of the American diet is these processed foods. So these are not real foods. They've got chemicals, additives that have no calories. And guess what else it's doing besides depleting your copper? It's stealing that ATP from your mitochondria. Why do you think you want to eat more and more and more food when you're eating the processed foods? Number one, they don't have the protein and the fats, and that they're not signaling to the brain, okay, I've got enough nutrition, we can stop eating. Because your brain's saying, okay, keep coming because I am not getting any nutrients from this meal. I need more food. Well, that's going to lower your ATP. So when your energy is lowered, your body's then also going to say, I need more food to increase my energy, but it's not doing it. So processed foods have caused copper depletion at an accelerated rate in most people. Then you've got excessive zinc supplementation. Over the pandemic and your immune system, you got to take your zinc, right? You got to take your zinc to boost your immune system. Well, zinc and copper share absorption pathways, meaning that excessive zinc intake can interfere with copper absorption. Yes, we need zinc, but not too much. High levels of zinc, whether it's from supplements or diet, can create this imbalance, leading to depletion of copper over time. And this imbalance affects the key processes like red blood cell production, immune support, collagen synthesis. And then you've got the spike protein. This gift that keeps on giving. It doesn't matter who you are, it's affecting you. It's causing systemic inflammation, disrupted metabolic processes, and increasing the body's demand for copper. This heightened demand, coupled with the disrupted nutrient absorption, accelerates that copper depletion. and prolonged exposure or repeat immune stress from the spike protein is further pulling and draining those copper reserves, impacting your overall health. So all of these factors are like a perfect storm and causing copper depletion. That's why I'm not worried about people overdoing it with copper. But this is leading to symptoms such as fatigue, weakened immune system, cognitive issues, poor metabolic health. When your metabolism's slow, your brain power is slow too. So you need to address these challenges with nutrition, of course, and supplementation. So what are the symptoms to look out for? Well, number one is anemia. Anemia is usually caused by low copper, not low iron. Once again, there's plenty of iron in your body. It's just in all the wrong places, and you need that copper to get it to where it needs to go. So that will be fatigue, weakness from low red blood cell production. You might have bone issues, problems like osteoporosis. You need copper for bones. And you might have other abnormalities due to impaired bone health. Neuropathy, nerve damage leading to tingling, numbness, or pain in the hands and feet. Low white blood cell count, a reduced number of neutrophils, which weaken your immune system, and just a weakened immune system in general. Are you getting sick a lot or slowly healing? Slower than most people. You might have slow growth, especially for children. Children need copper. This is especially concerning for them in adolescence. Premature gray hair. Now maybe I got your attention. You don't want those grays. Well, without copper, the eye color and the hair color goes. You also might have pale skin because that's linked to lower red blood cell levels as well. So this is where copper comes in. And it's not just about preventing deficiency and brain health, but I want to talk about some of the other benefits of copper. It enhances iron and sugar absorption. So copper is essential for your body to absorb the iron, right, and metabolize sugar, ensuring that you have enough energy to get through the day. And without enough copper, your body can't produce those red blood cells efficiently, leading to that fatigue and other symptoms of anemia. Copper plays that role in immunity. It prevents anemia and acts as an antioxidant to reduce oxidative stress. So this is going to help your immune system. It supports diabetic management. Now, how many of you have insulin resistance or diabetes? And maybe you haven't changed your diet at all. Have you noticed your insulin resistance has crept up? That could be because of the environment from the toxins, the chemicals, the artificial ingredients in our food, the microplastics, our livers being backed up. Our livers cannot process and keep our blood sugar down if it's overloaded with all these toxins. And chemicals have been shown to cause obesity just as much as sugar because our fat cells are there to store the toxins. And we have to have more and more and more fat cells, the more toxins we're taking in. The toxins that have no sugar in them. But what does that do? That causes insulin resistance at the cellular level because the cells won't take in insulin and glucose if they're overstuffed with toxins. Well, when you have copper, you're increasing the liver health, you're increasing the body's ability to protect the cells from free radicals, which can contribute to insulin resistance in type 2. So that is also very important. It also aids in fetal growth and development. So copper is really important for our children, just like iodine. I talk about the fact that iodine is crucial for our children, but copper is crucial during pregnancy for the proper development of the baby's skeletal, nervous, and cardiovascular systems. It can also prevent birth defects and premature births, making it essential for you if you're pregnant. And then, like I mentioned, it helps with the eye pigmentation and your hair color. I've been taking copper for quite a few years, and I have to say, genetically, I should be full of grays. And this is my natural color. I've had the same couple of gray hairs for the last 5 years, and it hasn't gotten any worse. I do believe it's because of the copper and the accelerated C60. Those two things are, and the collagen I take. So those would be my things for my hair, but copper is key for your hair color and your eye color. Copper is known as brain food. As we're talking about brain health, it is really important for cognitive function by maintaining those healthy neural pathways and energy production to the brain. It's even linked to enhanced creativity and sharper thinking. And then, of course, energy levels, because it's increasing that red blood cell production and iron absorption. It helps the body get the energy it needs to function properly, brain and body. Copper's critical for the production of collagen and elastin, two proteins that keep your skin firm and your connective tissues strong. So what's interesting is, a lot of people lose weight, and they lose weight in their face, and they complain that they get wrinkles or saggy skin. Well, part of it is you're not getting the nutrients if you're on a restrictive diet, and your body needs the proteins and the collagen and the elastin and the copper to keep that structure. Very important. Copper also helps regulate essential enzymatic processes that balance your metabolism and hormones. It is the hidden key behind fat loss. Copper has a huge part in fat loss. It promotes cardiovascular health. It helps support the heart and the blood vessels by maintaining their structural integrity. It also plays a role in lowering the bad cholesterol, LDL, and helping with the good cholesterol, HDL, reducing the risk of heart attack, stroke, and other heart diseases. It supports the thyroid function. It teams up with zinc and selenium to regulate thyroid hormones. So yes, I said zinc and copper compete, but that's when you take them at the same time. So when you do take your zinc and copper, you want to take them at different times, okay? Because they're both important for your overall health. And then also it improves that skin health, like I mentioned. So what do you do about it, right? Okay, so the foods that are rich in copper: shellfish, oysters, crab, nuts and seeds. But we have to be careful because those nuts have oxalates and they have mold, almonds especially. So here you are taking a food for copper, but it's inhibited, the absorption is inhibited because of the oxalates. And I talk a lot about oxalates on my website and in my other podcasts. You can look on my accelerated food guide for the list of foods that have oxalates and the list of foods that have sulfur and mold, to make sure that you are eating for what your condition is and what your current state of health is. Leafy greens, spinach and kale, they've got copper, but guess what? They've got oxalates. And those oxalates, especially in the spinach, kale, and almonds, those three foods have the highest amount of oxalates. They will inhibit that absorption, cause leaky gut, cause arthritis, bone issues, thyroid issues. And here we are trying to take the copper for things like our thyroid and our energy. Organ meats, yes, eat your organ meats, but not many people do. Dark chocolate, yes, but that does have a little oxalates. I'm not so worried about it. But with that being said, you've got to balance that out with some of the oxalates, sulfur, lectins that inhibit the absorption. So what do you do if you can't get it from your food? We want the right amount, not too much, right? But you can use supplementation. Most supplements have about 5 to 10% absorption. And this is why I came out with the accelerated Scalar copper. It is liquid. And why do I love the fact that it's liquid? Is because I can put it in a spray bottle and spray it on my skin or my scalp to help with my the topical, help with brown spots, age spots. It makes you feel good. It wakens up the cells. You'll feel your eyes wake up. When I have blurred vision from staring at this computer too long, I spray the copper in it, and it helps with the inflammation, and I get my vision back. So this is where accelerated Scalar copper comes in. It has about 99% absorption. You only need 1 tablespoon a day, and it has scalar frequencies to help balance out that zinc copper relationship. And we use proper nanoscalar copper technology. It's incredibly tiny. They treat it with this fascinating process called water implosion technology. This essentially energizes and structures the copper, making it more readily available for your body to absorb. And they can enhance it, or we enhance it with further more scalar frequencies to help with the efficacy of what the copper is supposed to do. So what we also do, unlike any other company, is we use ozonated and UV sterilized distilled water and ultrafine 99.99 pure scalar copper, unlike any other company. This careful process helps eliminate the risk of any toxic buildup that can sometimes occur with supplementing. So this is getting away from, I talked about not too much, not too little, but with the accelerated scalar copper, it's really hard to have too much. Now, I was saying that, you still just take 1 tablespoon a day. The water implosion process doesn't just improve the absorption, it also energizes and structures the copper hydrosol, making it even more bioavailable. Have you learned about living versus dead water, or heard the term life force or chi in ancient medicine? Well, that's what this does. And this provides regenerative benefits for your brain and your body, taking it to a whole nother level. So what's my takeaway? It's a renewed appreciation for this intricate dance of all nutrients. Too much of a good thing is not a good thing. Copper, iron, zinc, too little, too much, not a good thing. We got to be Goldilocks here. And copper is often overlooked, plays this starring role behind the scenes to help so many processes, including your brain, but also your energy, your fat burning, your vision, your hair, your skin, all of the things. So with that being said, thanks for listening. I hope this opened a can of worms so that now you're questioning everything, right? Well, our discussion does not have to stop here. And if you're feeling lost in the supplement world, I'm here to help. I know it can be confusing. You can start by getting your free supplement protocol. Head to SaraBantaHealth.com, complete the form, and I will personally put together one for you. Follow me on social media at Accelerated Health Products for more insights on natural health, and join the free group coaching on Telegram. There's no downside. I answer your questions, I post insights, and keep you moving forward each and every day. The link again is at SaraBantaHealth.com. You can find this podcast by looking up Accelerated Health with Sara Banta on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, E360, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Roku, and over 100 different platforms. Share this podcast with any one of your friends who is fearful of Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or dementia, who has brain fog, who has weight gain that's unexplained, who just had the exposure maybe to the spike protein. All of these things. Everybody needs to hear that relationship between copper and brain health. You can use the coupon podcast10 to get 10% off site-wide. Remember, I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so join me next time for more ways to unlock your health potential.